Oh, you can see it already.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks
I
for letting me know because I can't see it. All right. So here we are from Wallet to Wealth. And we are launching new themes this year for 2022. So each month we're going to have a new theme.
Yep.
And so
Just sharing this into the group.
awesome. Okay, so for the month of February, we are going to talk about the mother-daughter dynamics. And I think that for mothers, it's a pretty active conversation. There's a heck of a lot of experience. There's a few people that we'd like to have as guest speakers. So it's possible that this theme may run further than the month of February. So, but again, from Wallet to Wealth, what we're trying to do is raise the experience of every woman in her life. And of course, with us, there's all sorts of avenues that we can work on. So we really want to. Brittany's done a lot of work, research around the mother wound and fight dynamics and parents as our first leaders, and of course the love language of how we all need to be spoken to. We all are children, and we all have our own mothers. So hopefully they're still alive, but if they're not, we do have memories. And I like what you said, Brittany, about, the mom is the first thing. Like the mom is when we're born, it's like the mom is the end all and be all of absolutely everything.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to rewind a little bit because
Okay.
so for Wallet to Wealth this year, we decided to do monthly themes and really expand some of the conversations we're having. And what I think is important, like obviously this is like a women's empowerment movement, but it's also to raise awareness and money for Halton Women's Place and violence against women prevention. And so looking at the root cause of where this is coming from and the reason why we're starting with mother daughters, we could probably do moms, daughters, and dads for another month, but because our relationships start at home, and the relationships at home are what becomes the mirror for our relationships in life. And so, for raising awareness on these issues, it's not just treating the symptom of like being in a toxic situation, it's let's start holistically at the root of where these issues are actually starting from. So I just wanted to rewind to share that. But yeah, I think that the mother daughter, it historically, it can be like a love hate relationship, and it, from what I've studied, is understanding the different love languages and how moms either attune to their baby or not. And as a child, if they don't receive the love in the way they need it, then they come to the conclusion, this is subconsciously, by the way, they come to the conclusion that there's something wrong with them. And so when that love and appreciation and care and emotional attunement and all that isn't reflected back, these are where the seeds are actually first planted for the dysfunction that can grow over the years into teen and adulthood. And something I know you were saying, Mom, is a lot of the times there can be resentment, and family members can bring up things that happened like 20 years ago, and it's about being able to have those conversations as to why it was hurtful, and then clear it and like really let it go. So I'm kind of going all over the place here. I don't know where you want me to start, but
Well, I want to jump in on one point that you just made, because it really, I really heard what you said, is that if when you're a young child or a baby, well, probably after a baby, if you're not getting the love the way that you receive it, in those love languages, you feel that there's something wrong with you. So, I mean, I heard that because when you say that, I'm like, I think, oh my God, like there was nothing wrong with you. Like that's the automatic feeling that I have. But what that does is it shuts you down because you're the one that made the statement. So I shouldn't be the one that says there's nothing wrong with you. I should be the one that says, oh my gosh, that must have been horrible for you. And I think this is one of the mistakes that we make as a mom is we don't see anything wrong with our child. So when when a child says whatever it is they say, we shut you down instead of exploring. She feels like there's something wrong with her. I'm like, oh, Britt, no, there's nothing wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Shut down.
Yeah.
See, so now I just heard that.
To go
20 years ago, I would never have heard that. It
to
would
go
have been one ear and out the other.
But to go back to the leadership, like the child, so the child, if their needs aren't being met, the child either thinks there's something wrong with my mom or there's something wrong with me. But the child, the mom is the God for them, so nothing can be wrong with them. So they automatically internalize whatever the thing is, right? And it can be like little basic things like I don't know, say you just look at how parents deal with like a child crying. Some parents let the child cry it out. That can be either empowering or traumatizing for the child. And some of them will try and coddle or help that child through those emotions. Same thing, can be empowering, but also can be very damaging. And so there is no right or wrong. It's just everyone has their own experiences. And up until a certain age, like we don't know how to express our needs. Um, so that's where a lot of the issues can come from. And then you fall into these communication dynamics where it becomes, well, you always say this or you always react that way because people like we are who we are. We have our way of acting and reacting. And I think it's about understanding. I think it's about conflict resolution, actually, more than anything. Like understanding how to communicate with someone, and especially if you're just not in agreement. Like you could have experienced something like maybe the daughter experienced it one way and the mom experienced it a different way, right? Like that is totally a valid thing. And so sometimes it's just like agreeing to disagree or really trying to see that other person's perspective. But what happens is oftentimes people will go into their common communication patterns and then they'll shut each other down and then they stay resentful and then they hope it blows over and then 5 years later at Thanksgiving dinner, like while passing the turkey,
Yeah,
something's gonna come out.
there's a blow up. Part of what pops up for me is that a parent, like what we hear when the child is saying something, we hear, oh, she's telling me I'm wrong or I did something wrong, and as a parent. And so as a mom, when we give birth, we have these thoughts of how we're going to make this child's life like way better than what we had. I'm not going to do these things that my parents did. I got the book on how not to, right? And that's not saying that my parents are wrong. I'm just saying that that's a headspace that we're in. And then so we carry that headspace and we worry, that we're doing everything right. And, all this hustle and bustle. And, when you're raising your children, you have to get in the car, come on, gotta go. We got dance, we have piano, like gotta go, gotta work, bills, pay, divorce, all of these things. And we don't want to be wrong. And so
Yeah.
when the kid, because we're trying so hard to do everything right, then when the kid comes at you with like, blah, 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 then we're like, all we hear is, you did it wrong, blah, 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 blah. So then what happens is we bring out the machine gun and then there's those dynamics.
Yeah, we have a lot of viewers on here right now. So
Yeah.
if you guys are resonating, let us know in the comments because we're developing this conversation all month and we're not going to get too much into it today, but we are going to talk about those soul patterns. And this is just my belief, but I think that every relationship dynamic is such an opportunity for us to grow. Like we can have a default to be like, let me find what is wrong with the other person. But actually, there's so much power in deconstructing these dynamics, not just in family, but even relationships. But again, why are we talking about this? Because our relationships in our household become our relationships in our life, in our professional and romantic. So these everything is a mirror. So even with your partner, or your kids or your parents, like you can look at what are these common patterns that are coming out if you're not feeling heard. Like that's something to be healed. And something I learned is like, because obviously that was my wound growing up, was not feeling heard, is like, well, where can I validate myself? Because I can look to the end of the world for people to validate and hear me, but it's me who needs to heal that. And once I heal that, guess what? Those patterns don't show up in your life anymore. Because
Okay,
once you,
so let me stop you here because is this because I don't know the mother wound. You're going to teach us, but like, did you catch that from me? Like, did I like because my big wound all of my entire life was not being heard. Oh my gosh. And
yeah,
at the age now of where I'm at, I think just in the last few months I don't know if it's because I'm getting old. I got to the point where I don't care if you hear me anymore because I can hear me and that's it. So is it possible that through osmosis we pick up what our parents have, or was that just a coincidence?
I mean, I think not feeling heard is pretty universal. I feel like a lot of people probably feel that in some way, but definitely epigenetics play into it. I mean, I know my sister and I have made jokes where we notice patterns we have. I mean, my boyfriend will call this out to me if I'm thinking and he talks to me and he's interrupting my thought, and I'll like snap at him. I'm like, oh, my mom does that to me. And I have to remember not to do it to him. Like, he actually said to me this weekend, he's like, I can just never talk to you. There's all these rules about when I can talk to you. And like, you wouldn't have consciously taught that to me, but we learn through the behaviors, right? So, the important thing in that lesson was for me, my lesson was calming my nervous system and realizing like it's okay if someone interrupts me. Like, it's kind of that joke, like I always have a staff meeting in my head. Like I'm always thinking about something. I can't like have people interrupt my thoughts, but I just recognize like, oh, this is something for me to heal. And that's the beauty. Like it's about taking that responsibility for ourselves. It's not about trying to change or fix the other person. It's about how am I contributing to this? Now, of course, you can express to that person. Like I'll say to Zab, like if I'm on my phone is my work. That's my office. So sometimes I'm working, which doesn't look traditional to other people, and I'll just say, like, if you see me intensely typing, don't talk to me. And I just let him know, right? So you can
Well,
still.
it's a good thing you don't have children because that's part of the wound, right? Because the same thing, we're busy, and then if you have a child and you say, hey, you're interrupting my thought patterns, like, so these are how these dynamics start. It's really quite interesting. And I think I'm really glad we're doing this theme because I think that we can all really heal and grow from this together. So whether you're a mom or a daughter, both, or a father and a son, is that I think that our children really teach us good lessons. They bring really good lessons to the parent, as long as it's not in a fighting, attacking way, because that's the most ineffective way to deal with things, because no one's heard, and yet it is the go-to. People get emotional and they lose it, right? And so when you get to that point, when all of us get to that point, no one's hearing anything anymore, because it's like a dog when your dog goes in the red zone and starts to wants to go after a coyote or another dog, and he's in the red zone, and you can't get him out of the red zone. No matter what, no one's hearing anything. So
Yeah, I think to kind of close off, and we can talk more about this like effective strategies, but I think for anyone listening, like whether it's with your daughter, your kids, or even your own parents, like the number one thing, and it's going to sound, it might feel uncomfortable, but when there is a conflict with anyone, we ourselves just want to be heard and seen. We don't care what they're saying. We just want them to acknowledge what we feel. And if you want to start shifting that dynamic, the first thing you can do is actually just really listen. Um, where did I write this down? There's a word for this. It's like active listening, actively listening to the other person. because once they then feel heard, then they can hear you. But this takes leadership. This is hard because when you're in the heat of the moment, oftentimes we don't care about the other person. So it's actively like there's like 13 of you guys watching, so type in the comments like I will try this week. And this isn't just with kids, it's with your partners as well. Like,
Well, but I have a comment to this too, because I was just going to write it in. There's also something else about actively listening, and that's delivery. And so delivery is how are we delivering our message? So are we, because in the heat of that moment, and we're all guilty of this, the delivery comes out really snappy.
yeah.
And then so what happens is that a reaction begets a reaction. So you get this stuff going on. So there's a lot that we can dive into here. So I think we will wrap, and we do have some moms in the group that I think can really offer us some really, really good experience and tips, because they've had issues in their relationships and how they were able to resolve all of that and turn into really dynamic and close relationships. And I think that's where we are in life, is that it's really important that we deepen our relationships as much as we can, because the more we do that, the more healthier we are, and the more happier we are, and the more rich we become, because that's what fills our soul, is the intimacy that we share between the people that we really love, and mother-daughter relationships. And of course there's all sorts of them, but we're talking right now about mother-daughter. And I'm really interested in the mother wound, and I'm wondering if we should do that on Monday, before we start inviting some guests on. And just to also let people know that we are having a live event on Tuesday, February the 22nd at the Millcroft Golf and Country Club. We haven't announced it yet, so that social media will be coming out very soon. And that is Robbie Spear-Miller, who owns the Burlington Hypnosis Clinic. Actually, anyways, so she's going to talk to us, and everybody loves Robbie. So now seating is limited because of the social distancing or what that's going on right now. We only have 40 seats, but after February 21st, it's possible that we may open up to more seats. So we'll sell out, and we're really looking forward to the 40 people that are going to join us for the event. And over to you, Britt, to close.
Yeah, well, and one thing we just wanted to point out is that we have raised over $100,000 total since starting Wallet to Wealth in I think it was end of 2018, 2019. So we're really excited, and if there's anyone who is watching this who knows a family member who could benefit from this community, please invite them to the From Wallet to Wealth Facebook group. That's where all of these conversations take place in a really safe space, and it's just a really awesome vibe in there. So
It is. I'm so I have to say that I've never met so many awesome new best friends in my life than to be connected in that Wallet to Wealth group. I just love the people that I've met. We're tight. We support each other. We help each other grow. It's just, I wish that we had something like this when we were in high school.
we'll add sisterhood wounds to the mother wound because it all ties together.
Okay, so we'll get on to that next Monday, and so there'll be some teachings and learning. So today was just kind of getting the energy. So yeah,
Awesome. All
next,
right.
next Monday at 10. See ya.
Monday, bye.
Bye bye.